I'll be sharing a case study of one of our clients, Bradley Roulson, co-founder of Timely, a tech startup here in Vancouver, BC. While working with me, they were able to develop twice as many features in the same time frame with the same team size, skyrocket their product rating from 2.6 to 4.2 out of 5, and double their yearly revenue while cutting their spending in half. After this case study, if you're interested in getting similar results, feel free to book a call to talk to us, and we're going to talk to you about what we have to offer and how we can help you.
Before we started working together, what were the major pains that you felt in the business?
Yeah, well, as a co-founder of the company, and we had it going for a couple of years. It was a good 2 or 3 years in a startup. It was tough. We had some tough times. It was we had the vision. The market was there. Figuring out that fit was a challenge. And one of the challenges that we had in trying to get there was we had a distributed model. So a distributed team environment, which is not uncommon in today's environment. But the problem, the challenge with that is just managing people towards a common goal. When you're having morning stand-ups, sure, you have a couple of these checkpoints that's kind of common in the industry, but it's really, how do you get people like working?
That was the number one, basically, right?
The vision. That was it, and we wrestled with that Eris for a couple of years, and it was around the year 4 that we met you and helped us organize that. Like, you took our team, we had a couple of people in the office, people remote, pull it all together, common goal, get everyone working as a team in a positive way towards that. It was we weren't able to do it, and you were pulling it together, and I tip of the hat to you for that.
I appreciate that. It was great times working together. Remember that how we started is that we looked at the process. Like we said, what is the best way to do agile with this company, with this product, with this team, basically. And then we started changing the way that that the team was doing agile. We started doing daily stand-ups. You were right there, close to the developer physically, and you were able to see. Would you tell that the engagement changed and the focus, the productivity of the development team changed?
It turned around. It definitely turned around for the positive since you were when you got involved and working in what I say the battlefield out there in the slaughterhouse, in the fields, getting gunned down with in that environment. We saw it, and it was challenging for me, dude. Like, I'm working in an environment, I'm selling a product that was just missing its points. Like, we just weren't building what the vision was and what I was selling to the client. And you got involved, and it it takes a couple of months for things to turn around, but all of a sudden, bam, things are being developed, things are coming together, and I'm watching it as a sales guy.
And there are two things basically that happened. One of them was around defining properly the product, where you were talking to the customers and you were looking at what the team was actually building. And I remember that you were not pleased. You kept on saying that this is what the customer actually need, and yet we're building this. We're building just one thing that one customer said instead of building the whole thing. And around the product, basically, we started using some road mapping proper tools. We started doing lean hypothesis. Remember when I had that meeting with a board and everybody, and we started doing the roadmap. And you were able to see how over the next quarters and even a couple of years, we were planning actually to validate those hypotheses that you guys basically raised. You guys knew the business best. Remember that we implemented those boards where customers could raise ideas and say, yeah, I need that, a little bit of feedback.
You got to have that kind of stuff in a startup environment where you're trying to crack a new nut. It's all about validation from the market, validation from what customers are saying and what customers are buying. Yeah, that feature map of letting customers go in, itemize, prioritize, vote on the features that they wanted, because you get this core, Eris, you get this core group of it's a couple of people, 5%, maybe even less, 2% of customers that love you, and they want to see you succeed, and they're willing to help you, but they need a way of being able to communicate their needs, what they're looking for, and then see it turn into something that you're listening to them. And we failed on that until you came on. So you came on with that
Visibility, right?
board design that they were able to go in, and not everyone's going to do it. You're only targeting a small percentage of your clients, the diehards, the ones that just want to see you do well, right? The early adopters, however we call them. And they
Yeah.
did that, and it was great. And but overall, kind of bigger than that was just the overall confidence that I got being able to see where the company was going, and I'm able to confidently tell people deliverables are coming on at
Oh,
a
I
at
remember.
at a realistic time frame, and
I
things would
remember when
actually
you
get
were
built
asking
and
me,
not just
you were asking me, Eris, when is that going to happen? Where's that going to happen? And I was
yeah,
getting, well, we have a roadmap now in place. Look at the roadmap, right? Like this is the roadmap.
yeah,
These are the reasons for it. This is why it's going to happen when it's going to happen. Now,
yeah,
remember,
yeah,
I remember that the reviews of the product were pretty low at a point, pretty bad review, and it was multiple reasons. One of them was around the product that the quality wasn't really there, but another reason, very important though, was that kind of lack of communication between what the customers were expecting and
mm,
and that it wasn't really clear
yeah,
to them, hey, should we get this level of support? Remember when we started putting on the boards those kind of things, hey, you're on this plan, this is the level of support that you're getting, this is exactly how fast we're going to respond, all those kind of things. And I don't know if you remember, but I do remember that the review of the product across the changes that you guys implemented with the new agile and lean approach jumped from 2.6 to 4.2 or something like that. Now, what I want to ask you is, what did you personally see in the quality of the product during that jump in the rating itself?
there was so much going on, so much that it's to isolate it is difficult. Majorly, there was definitely just basic bug stuff across the board that just you're just swatting down and just getting your ability of focusing the development team on just hammering the big bugs, boom, 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 systematically take them down. That was a big thing. Another thing was that customers just being heard. I think overall, kind of overall of it, it was confidence in that there was a company that was listening to the customers, hearing them, and you can't do this with words. You have to do it by showing them. You need to show them that we're listening to you, we're hearing you. We
Yeah,
developed a process that is spinning out results. People started seeing that. It might, for sometimes it took a couple of weeks or a couple of months, but people start seeing it. Then all of a sudden, it's like I bought you or I downloaded you on a hope, on a promise of a vision. Things were rocky, but I'm seeing consistent results that you're working towards what's bringing me back to the original thing. And yeah, I'm going to hit a five. I'm going to go for a 5-star review now. So
yeah.
we started winning back the kind of the early adopters and the fans who were normally just kind of drifting away, and we're able to pull them. Yeah, it was a big thing for the company.
Talking to the clients, asking them for reviews. Hey, if you like it, help us here. What do you want to see change? And they
Yeah.
saw that proactive approach. So,
You see
uh,
that with a lot of developing firms. I mean, I see it with ours anyway, where developers, they can be great. I mean, I love our team. Sometimes they work in their own little vibe, their own little bubble, their own little mindset of this is what I think I need. And I've always worked not on the development, but always talking to people. And there was a disconnect before you got involved in the company, and you helped bring that together in a way of what do customers want? What are the developers building? Where's the gaps? How do we start making these channels? Because ultimately, you have to work for the customers. I
yeah.
mean, if you're not, you're just doing it as a hobby, right?
We started setting processes in place for the product management, for the development itself, for the measuring, right? We started measuring how much the development team is actually building in a unit of time, sprints, those kind of things that weren't even there. Remember when we started doing daily meetings with video and you were able to see actually the faces of people that you guys haven't seen for years, maybe because they weren't even pushed. Maybe they didn't even have daily stand-ups from what I remember. But I felt that was definitely a big change
Culture.
in the
Well, just the whole
culture.
attitude of it all. And you're
Yeah,
working with companies. I see it all the time talking to my pals, and they're companies that working for companies that said you can never work from home,
yeah,
never work from home. And then all of a sudden it's, these mandates come down and all of a sudden they made it happen. But they're going through similar challenges that we went through. All of a sudden, you've got a distributed model, everyone working home. The importance is keeping the culture, keeping the things together in a remote environment. Yeah, I think a lot of companies could be using your help right now.
I appreciate that. Well, think about this. If you implement the right processes like we did, and by the way, remember we documented all of these and continued, and you had other dedicated resources in place. They continued to use basically those exact resources. Mm-hmm. You could even bring a junior to start working on those, because it was not about having the expensive management over there. It's about having the right process and just doing it.
I could go, other people can take over, more people can get hired, but you need the script. Otherwise, you're winging it every single time. Yeah. Same thing with development in a different way. You need a written script that you can take, modify, get feedback, improve, but you've got a template that you're able to like live on. And, without a script, you're in a startup mode forever. You never get out of it because you're always just doing things on the fly. You need predictability, and you need something that's stable. Yeah.
What would you say to someone that would be on the edge about working with me?
If you've got the problems of you're trying to improve productivity, you're trying to build systems, you're working with a team that is, I will say distributed, and you're trying to focus them towards a collective goal, hire you. If I did again at the next startup and I was in a similar boat and you came into the consulting and able to put down processes and help build the visioning and the roadmap and all that, I'd hire you back in a second. Easy recommendation to give.
If tech companies would implement these processes that we together actually implemented with your product, if they would implement them like that, they wouldn't have to micromanage their staff. They don't have to even be in the same office, right? They don't even have to overlap their hours, because this is the process, this is how they work, this is the outcome how they work. It's not based on what you're doing in the second, right?
You need developers to be creative, because that's their gem. That's so much of their juice, is being able to bring in their creativity into their workplace. You want them to have a freedom. I need freedom. I need to be able to go off the script if I need to. I need to be able to create deals when I see opportunities. Yeah. I need that to make deals happen. However, I need a script. When I used to coach running, I need to put people on a running program. They can divert. I don't need to watch them 24 hours a day. But what I need them to do is follow a pattern, because that pattern is going to get them to running the goal that they need to hit. That's just what, that's kind of training 101. It's coaching 101.
Exactly.
You need a roadmap. You need some structure. And then you allow people to play. Inside it. There's kind of an expression I like when it comes to, property management. Fences make good neighbors. Because, when you have a fence, you're able to go right up to the edge of your property line. Yeah. But if you live on a property and you're on a cliff and there's no fence, you stay like 50 feet back because you're too scared. Yeah. So you're able to go closer to your edge. You're able to get more creative. You can do more when you've got some structure and some systems in place.
It's not constraining. It's liberating, right? I mean, you've got freedom within those safe.
It was great working with you. I was delighted as it went, and it was I know that we eventually went our separate ways. Hopefully one day we'll be able to converge back in some kind of zany, some kind of project that might come back on our way again. Yeah. I think it's exciting what you're doing, Aris. There's a lot of them out there that could use you. That extra little tip. Spend a little bit, get so much more out of it.
I appreciate it. Thanks a lot. Take care.
Hey, if you're out in Ontario, let me know, man. Catch you later.
I will. Bye-bye.
Bye.
I hope you enjoyed this video. Aside from this case study, there are many other businesses, founders, and leaders that we've helped with their software businesses. Robert, CEO of Timely, Rena, engineering director, and others that needed help building software products with a smaller team and half the cost. Alex, Sanjay, and others that needed help managing a software development team without paying for expensive managers. Dylan from Collingwood School, Michael from Eminence Organics, and others that needed help scaling their product operations without begging for funding. Xenia, co-founder of Fritera and Waldy, and others that needed help increasing the team performance while transitioning from office to remote work. If you're interested in seeing how we can help you make more money with your software product while spending way less on your staff, I've set aside 45-minute slots so you can talk to our team and see whether you can get similar results. Click the link included with this video